That's what I used to do when I went out with my mother. I didn't want her to know I was drinking. They give me a double vodka and tonic in the coffee cup.
All right, here we go.
Giving it to you straight with no filter. Danny B wins.
I'm used to looking at you this way, Andy. We moved the camera over to this side.
That's
Why?
right.
Because we have Daryl Dawkins in studio. Daryl, I've been talking about you for a couple of weeks. I was so happy to have you here. And I just wanted to say thank you for joining us today.
Hey, you know my word is my bond. When I tell you I'm coming, I'm coming.
And you're bringing the thunder today, huh?
Now, you got to always bring the thunder. You know, it's like Parliament without their funk. It'll be like me without my funk.
I keep looking this way. My camera's on this side. I've been staring at Andy this way too long. And we got Moses back in studio.
Okay, cool.
Not Moses Malone.
Now you got the real Moses.
I got Moses. You know what? There is a trivia question. Moses Malone. Everybody thinks he was the first... out of high school. He went to the ABA.
He went to the ABA.
You were the first to go into the NBA.
And you know what? He gave me confidence to know I could do that.
Right.
Because if he went from high school to the ABA, I felt like I was good enough to go to the NBA.
Right.
So I was the first guy to do that.
Then you played with the Sixers, the Nets, and that's where we kind of, in 82, where were you with in 82? The Nets?
82, I was with the New Jersey
The
Nets.
New Jersey Nets.
Not even Brooklyn Nets.
Arthur Imperator.
Yeah.
You practiced down there.
Imperator. And the truck stopped.
APA Trucking.
Yeah.
It was a gym. When I first went in there, I was like, this ain't much of a place for a pro team to practice in.
Nah, that was...
It was like a closet.
They had it laid out, man.
Yeah.
They had a nice weight room, gym, swimming pool, basketball court. Larry Brown used to run us to death.
Larry Brown, that's right, he was
He
there.
used to say, this court ain't the regular size, so we got to run extra.
I remember as a kid, I'm 51, you're 57.
Yep.
We used to just hope to get a peek at you guys back in the day because my buddy Paris, his father worked for the trucking company, and you got the membership to come in, and we get a peek at you guys once in a while. Then
enjoyed it.
Then in the 80s, a friend of mine, which is a friend of yours, Joel Tobia, introduced us to you years ago. Daddy O, crazy days. And,
he was a good dude, man. That was a different time. When fun was fun.
Yeah.
Daddy O was all right.
Yeah, you know, and it's been 30 years since you've retired. It seems like yesterday. How about you? How do you feel about that?
You know what? I feel good about it. You know, I got a wife, kids, house, and we always have a good time, you know. The good thing about guys who retire, the older guys, we still talk to each other.
Right.
Bob Lanier, Artis Gilmore, Doc, all us, we still talk.
That's awesome.
I'm worried about the guys now who don't talk to each other and make $15 million each.
Things that
I can't understand it.
You had said something to me because just recently Amari Stoudemire was my neighbor, and you said he could be one of the greatest players ever if he keeps his head in the game, because I guess you can get in his ear fast.
Well, you know, he got a temper that is zero to bitch and like, bam! He ready to blow up.
Right.
But if he keep his head cool, man, he's one of the better guys you know.
Right.
He keep his head cool and they don't get him out of his game, he can get the job done.
Let me ask you something. You know, tell it the way it is. This is a show called Keeping It Real. Okay. How do you feel about these salaries compared to the salaries you made and the players in your era?
I feel like my parents had sex 30 years too soon.
The thunder brings the humor too.
30 years too soon because we'd have got in on their money. You know what? I think that it's become such a big business.
Right.
Thanks to David Stern. Yao coming from China. You got guys coming from
all over
Argentina
the place
and everywhere else.
Croatia.
At one point, you never thought you'd see a guy not in the United States from the United States playing in the NBA. But the NBA will give you a chance if you can play.
And you're still affiliated with the NBA. You work
I do community relations for the Nets. I travel for the NBA, going to different countries, and man, I've been to more bar mitzvahs than most Jewish guys. I'm telling you, man, I have Kosovanskis.
So, but life is good for you these days. You seem happy. You look good. You don't look your age.
Well, you know, I tried.
You lost about 50 pounds, though.
Yeah. I gave up.
Still a big man, though.
Oh yeah. Well, you know,
you hit your head on the ceiling coming down. I
No
apologize. I
woman
gotta fix
want
it.
a
Get the plaster.
man who can't keep his pants up. So, you know, I started doing Zumba in Nancy O's class.
There you go.
I'm actually in love with Nancy's mother, who's about 70. But they be shaking it up in there. And it's only two men, me and Ed. And it's about 50 women. I try never to miss that.
Excuse me, you got to call the Godfather again. We're having trouble people calling in. Okay. Sometimes with the Ustream, Daryl, it's hard to get calls coming in. Okay. And it gets caught up, so we have to dial out.
So do you want me to call this number?
The one, the Godfather.
Okay,
the only Godfather that we do what we do. Yeah, he's a Philadelphia guy. He's a fan of yours, and he's going to talk about. We're going to talk a little bit about a scandal if you're comfortable with it.
I'm going to talk about what I know.
Yeah, you tell us if we're crossing the boundary, just let me know.
I'll tell you what I know about. What I don't know about it.
You don't know what you don't know. What you don't know.
Here we go. We got the call coming in for Philly Godfather. Let's see what happens.
Hopefully, we get through to him.
Philly Godfather got to be this.
ESPN Radio this time.
Oh, you dialed the wrong number. Leave it up to you, Andy. You keep dialing wrong numbers, pal. Sorry, buddy. You dialed the number on the phone, the 267 number. That's 267. It says, Andy.
We're going to have to get you in this set of hands.
Andy.
Last
time he called, we were pranking the Godfather, and I was pretending to order a pizza. Yeah, I'd like to order a couple of pizzas, a couple of winning pies.
Okay.
And some guy's like, hello? What the fuck's wrong with you? So Andy is 26 and needs. Here, hold on.
Hey, you need glasses already?
Andy, you need some glasses.
Thank you, sir.
This is not the first time that Andrew was dialed, and God help the young gentleman.
Allow me to put my bifocals on here.
I mean,
he did
call ESPN Tom Fallon. You know Tom Fallon. You've done radio with him. How ironic was that?
You know what? We've got so many people calling our Rolodex.
We've had some great guests. The Philly Godfather's big in Johan boxing up in Philly.
Okay.
He's good friends with the champ up there. All
right, here we go.
Bernard Hopkins.
Hopkins is one good guy. Yeah. He comes down to Catasauqua to train once in a while.
Yeah. He's a fighter himself.
He's
we had some good boxing guest on
Bernard Hopkins is the man.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, you know what? Andy did it again, man. He dialed Tom Fallon at ESPN Radio. I just gave him glasses. I just gave him my glasses. I ordered the pizza from the wrong guy last week. Now I'm calling ESPN Radio.
And man, young fella need a new set of eyes.
We have Chocolate Thunder with us, my man. Chocolate Thunder.
Hey, how you doing? Godfather.
Do we have him?
Yeah, I mean, Godfather, are you there?
Are you there? We had a job.
And we lost him.
We're having a hard
if
time.
You lose the Godfather, something wrong.
Yeah, usually the Godfather loses you.
Yeah.
It's usually.
We could.
And it's by choice he loses you.
But
too.
you said you travel. You're going to Spain here.
Yeah, I'm going to Spain.
So you ain't going to make my party next week then?
No, I'll
another
miss
time.
your party. But I'll come to your party another time.
I know you will.
Because I get in there like swimwear.
You know what? You've done a lot for the community locally around here. You coached the Valley Dogs back in the day.
Coached the Valley Dogs.
There, Daryl?
Well, you know, Sam Yanira, God rest his soul, was good friends with John Walson. Mm-hmm. And they sponsored that team. John passed away. That went real well for us here.
Right.
It went real well for us. The league tried to get too big and ran itself out of business. I coached up at El Tri-C. I coached boys clubs, girls clubs, AAU. Coach over in Fairfield, New Jersey with Eddie Bright.
Get him back.
Team Izod.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, anything to give back. How can you live in a community and never give nothing back?
I agree.
You got to give something back. You got to go back. I don't care if you just go to church there or whatever.
Right.
You got to give something
But you're
back.
not from the area.
No, I'm originally from Orlando, Florida, but I ain't going back to Florida till I'm in the box.
I lived in Florida. You know, it's hot. It's like every day's the same.
Man, I saw a dog chasing a cat, and both of them was walking.
I did not realize the Thunder has so much humor.
Man.
I love it.
It's a pleasure, man. I'm so glad. I just wish we can get our guest on the show all at one time.
Hello.
There he is. There he is. Listen, I apologize. Andy has eye problems more than I have. He dialed. Are you there?
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Godfather.
Oh, great. This is one of those shows, huh?
Oh man.
We're going to have to give Andy some permanent eye makeup.
No, we got through it. We're having a problem with the connection here.
Well, there's a couple of different kind of phones you can buy. Walmart, Kmart,
no, these are good.
Mini-Mart.
It's not the phones.
Don't go into the Mart.
No, it's not the phones. It's the Ustream signal. We have. This is out of our control. Are you dialing him again? You got redialed?
No, I mean he's still on the line.
Is he?
Yeah, Godfather, can you hear us?
There, Steve-O. Hello,
Steve.
Steve-O.
Wow, that's bad.
Well, you know what?
Sorry, hello, I'm over here now.
We'll leave. We'll see if he could call back in. For now, we'll enjoy our guest.
Yeah, we'll keep the talk.
See what
we
goes
got
on.
an hour here.
So you know what? Let me ask you a question because you were
When you
one
get
of
a chance, try to get him again.
Yeah, you were one of the first guys. You were the first guy to come straight out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
For you, what was that like? Because I know it's a huge honor for basketball players to get selected out of high school in general, but to be the first, I mean, you broke major ground. That's something that was never heard before.
30 years too early, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, being that young and just going from your standard high school life and then having to turn around and be like, I'm a professional basketball player. That's a dream.
Well, you know what it is? I got a chance to live out a dream. I feel like it was a blessing.
Yeah.
But, Daryl Dawkins is always up for a challenge.
Uh-huh.
I went to Italy. I didn't know nothing but spaghetti. I learned to speak Italian.
I love it.
I love a challenge. And when I got in with the Sixers, I didn't play a whole lot the first year, and I was mad at Gene Shue. Mm-hmm. He was a coach, but he was trying to teach us. I said, you can't teach me from sitting on the bench.
Right.
I got to get in there. And I got in a game against the Knicks.
Okay.
And I blocked 3 shots on 1 play.
Wow.
Then I went down and got a monster dunk, and the crowd started cheering, Dawkins. And I said, yeah, I'm bad. I can do this.
Confidence. Yeah.
I can do this. Yeah.
That's all it takes is that little spark to give you that. Because without confidence, you ain't shit.
No.
You can have all of the size, and you're not just tall. You're wide. You're a wide load.
Yeah, you know what I
You threw your weight around pretty well.
Hey, you had to
you see what we can do.
bump and bang. Nobody walked through that lane like it's a Sunday drive.
Yeah.
I mean, Dr. J used to fly down the lane and guys would hit him and we'd be picking him up.
Wow, really?
Like LeBron James today coming down the lane when we played, nobody would be trying to end his career. But we let him know, hey, you come in here.
Would you let him get
Guess
away
where
with?
we live. Now he'll get hit.
Yeah.
He'll get hit and get hit hard. I mean, it wasn't nothing but a foul then.
Right.
But nobody try to end nobody's career.
Right.
Let me make that clear.
So you just played clean, hard ball.
Oh yeah, he get popped.
Yeah.
You need some stitches in that.
Let me say, your generation versus this generation. What's the difference besides the dollar amount that they're getting paid? Is the talent better now?
It's better marketed now. They like to think the players are bigger, stronger, and faster. However, Otis Gilmore, Bob Lanier, Wes Unseld, I can't think of anybody in the league that's stronger than them guys.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And I hung out with them, so I'm putting myself in that bunch.
You played with.
You don't see guys can play with their back to the basket.
Right.
Guys play facing the basket all the time. And we play with our back to the basket and still got 20, 25 points, 14 boards, and still got our 5-6 fouls in good.
Let me ask you this. What was the average salary back in the day when you broke in?
The minimum. Man, $150,000 was a lot of money.
Right, in 75, 76.
75, that was a lot of money. That was considered breaking the bank. Yeah, he was breaking the bank, but I got paid more than that. But I'm not willing to discuss.
Yeah,
that.
totally. Now, another thing that I wanted to talk about was as far as
hold on, Andy. Try him that number, please. You just
Sure.
text. I'm sorry, Daryl.
That's okay.
This is out of my control. Out of my control. I'm the least technical guy, and that's why I have Andy here.
No.
I don't know how to turn on a.
I'm
scared.
me.
I'm scared of that shit.
I'm worse than
you know what? It's one of
computer.
those things where since we go live, we just keep it real, and these are things that happen.
It is. It's happened before.
Well, you know what? If you go live and you just speak
the truth, they're keeping it real. That's the whole.
I learned to write speeches from one of the best in the world, Muhammad Ali. Spent time with him.
I got a shot back there behind that door, man.
But he always told me. He said, no matter what the speech say, if you got the crowd rocking, scratch
Steve.
the speech, scratch it.
Do we have you yet?
Hello?
Steve, can you hear us?
Unbelievable.
Man. Yeah.
Man,
Well, you know what?
Godfather, I got
Can
man
he
love
hear
for
us?
you, man, but it's gonna be trouble.
This is sad, Andy.
No, it's
Where's the patch over here?
I don't know. I mean,
Hello?
it's going
Can you
through,
hear us?
but
Hello,
it can't
hello.
hear us.
Can you hear us? Let me. I don't know what to do here at this point. Here, we've tried everything.
Yeah.
Only thing we can do is drive to Philly for one of his shows.
That's right. Yeah. Well, I guess just send him a text and just.
I don't know. I'm trying to do a show here, so I can't be texting anybody.
No, we'll just see what happens.
Can you fix the buttons, technical guy? There, can you
if he,
push the button and get something going here?
I'll work on it.
This was a show that we promoted here.
While
I'd like
we're
to have my guests together here, Andrew.
Yeah, let me.
How do you think I'm gonna have fucking Moses carry this? Moses, what do you think? You want to ask Daryl any questions? Like, how the fuck are you so big? Get down from there.
Moses, eat everything they give you. What they don't give you, eat that too.
Let me work on it for you.
Yeah, let's see. Here's the phone. Make sure you don't dial somebody, my mother especially. Okay. God, I don't want to talk to her right now.
Yeah.
No,
I'm a friendly guy, but my welcome mat says if you're family, you're not welcome, because they've been sucking on my nipples for years.
Hey, man, nobody can hurt you like family, man.
Isn't that crazy?
Nobody. They can borrow amounts of money, but they never intend to pay back.
Oh,
but they're your family. You got to love them, man.
Oh, yeah, we had, I told you, real brief, my brother, you was talking about your brother, how crazy some people can get. Dude. My brother was as delusional as anybody. He got out of jail after 20 years, Daryl, since he's a kid, bank robbery. He was the type of kid, if he saw something on TV, he thought it was real. I remember back in this, when you first broke into basketball, the Hulk was out, the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
And my brother, 6 years old, taking his painted off green, jumping on cars at 6. I knew he was tortured at that age. You know, I knew he was in for a long ride.
Hello.
Can we hear you now, please?
My man.
Hey, and you know what? Andy got fine. We got Daryl Chocolate Thunder in the house.
We don't call
what you got? What you got? A Mickey Mouse phone over there? What's going on?
Come on, man. State-of-the-art shit. I got me a lackey as a techie.
I got on him about the mini-mart, Walmart phone.
Daryl has so much humor, man. Unbelievable. We were talking Joe Hand real quick, Muhammad Ali stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Daryl, this is the Philly golfer. He's from Philly, Center City, born and raised, always been a fan of yours. We talk about breaking the glass. You were the
Oh, my God, I remember that. Now, I was a kid, man, and that was just unbelievable. It's the first time that ever happened in the NBA.
Oh, you know what? I enjoyed it so much, man. The Chocolate Thunder flying, glass flying, Robazine crying, glass still flying, babies crying, rump roast and bun testing. Thank you, well, ma'am, I am jail.
Damn!
You know, I had a great time with that. I knew about promoting stuff before I even got here. Yeah. So I'm still having fun.
What do you got to ask the guy? We're gonna talk about some scandals in a bit, but I've asked him about. He was the first one out of high school to go into the NBA. Moses Malone went into the ABA. And Daryl told me that's always a trivia stumper because most people say Malone, and it's Daryl Dawkins.
That is.
Yeah, well, I remember the first couple of years he didn't play much, but then in the playoffs against, in the championship when he played against, what's his name, the center for Seattle, he really turned it on.
And you know what? I got better as time went on because, you know, you get tired of sitting down there picking splinters out of your butt.
But you were a kid, though, Daryl. What, 17 when you came?
It didn't make a difference, kid or no kid.
If
I know one thing. If I was 18 or 19 and he was 22, I had his number. So
let me ask you a question. How tough was it playing against Bill Walton? I mean, how good of a center was he back then?
Hey, Bill Walton was fun to play against. You know, I enjoyed playing against him. He was the guy that I first gave the left-handed spine tiller supreme off the floor with one hand. But, you know, he was surrounded by a cast of guys that just wanted to do whatever he told them. So he could pass the ball to the corner or wherever, and they would run and get it. Now, that year, we played against him. We played street ball, man. We had Dr. George, we played street ball. And I like to say they played white boy ball. They had to get their toes together. They had to come off of picks. They had guys with no name at that time, Lana Hollins, Johnny Davis, and Bobby Gross, all those guys. But they didn't seem to care who scored or who did what. Whereas you on a team with George McGinnis, Dr. J, World B. Free, Doug Collins, all of us, and me, man, we had to get our shots in, man.
You guys had more talent on that team, but I guess they played better team ball. Is that what it was? Is that why you guys lost that championship?
Hey, you know what? First time I said that, people was mad at me. They played better team ball, period. That's all there is to it. We had more one-on-one stuff. We had more flash. And it wasn't just a flash in the pan, it was a flash in the hand. I mean, we had all that. People would get there half hour early to see the dunk line and warm up. But they played better team ball. You just got to give it to them.
Let me ask you something, Daryl. The best player you played with, besides yourself, of course, who do you think it was? Was it Bird, Walt, Magic?
No, what the best player I ever played with and against
that's a good
was
one.
World B. Free.
Really?
Every day he took me after practice. We played 1-on-1. I had to shoot inside the lane. He had to shoot. I had to shoot outside the lane. He had to shoot inside the lane. So I had to learn to handle the ball.
Right.
Dr. J is unbelievable, fantastic dude. But the best person I know is Bobby Jones. He was the first Christian I met. The hardest person I ever had to guard in my life, Bob Lanier.
Bobby Lanier.
7 foot, 315 pounds, size 22 shoe. And I do believe he had surgery. That if he can push a button and you was behind him, his butt got bigger.
Fat Albert effect.
You couldn't get around him, man. He was left-handed.
Yeah.
He could shoot the hook shot, the 20-foot jump shot, and he became my mentor.
Really?
And he told me, he said, listen, when Kareem come down, stand on the box. I said, no, but that's his box. He said, you see his damn name on that box? I said, no. 3-4 weeks later, we play in L.A., and I run down, stand on the box, and Kareem said, hey, move. I said, no. He said, I got to get to the box. I said, Bob told me this wasn't your box. And he started laughing. He said, damn, Bob.
Okay. So you guys have humor on the court, obviously. You talk, you joke around, and, you know, I'm not really a big basketball guy myself. I'm a baseball, football guy. But I respect you. I mean, it's tough. You guys pound bodies and...
Well, you know, in football, they got knee pads, thigh pads, hip pads, all this. We had a mouthpiece and a jock strap.
Right.
And some wristbands. And we was going for it for real.
Big bodies clashing.
Oh, yeah. People who sit close to the game, to the floor, they hear what's going on.
Yeah, right.
They see what's going on. But if you way up there where the bird seats are, where the bird nose is bleeding,
right?
Everybody look little to you.
Yeah.
And when you stand by them, you say, boy, I didn't know you was that big.
Yeah.
Say, well, buy a good seat next time.
Well, I think another thing is the sports technology has come so far as recovery and the different tactics that are in, you know, sports maintenance, being able to like keep people's bodies up for longer, pushing harder, all that.
Good drugs, basically, Andy.
I mean,
good drugs. Fair enough.
Yeah,
better drugs,
better drugs, better doctors,
better doctors. And
but you know, one of the things is, as players, we didn't, when we put the basketball down at the end of the year, we didn't bother the ball no more until we came back to training camp.
Right.
And these guys play year round.
Yeah, they keep going.
And we definitely did not lift weights. Because if you had a job in the summer, which we always did.
You had to work, huh?
No, I liked to work. I went back to the guy who took care of me.
Okay.
And loaded tires on trucks and picked fruit and all that kind of stuff.
That's wild.
In the summer. If somebody told you had to join a gym to stay in shape, you laughed at them. Because if you worked, you didn't need no job. You just go out and do your work.
Godfather, what would you like to ask Daryl?
No, I want to know. In 83, 84, I think that was Daryl's best year. He wasn't a Sixer. And I love him as a Sixer, but I think that was his best year. But that was also the year he committed 386 personal fouls. Now, were the refs really keying in on you? Or, I mean, what was the situation there? Why so many fouls that year?
Well, you know what? I think that referees really could not call a game against me sometime because I was so big, light on my feet. I had a sweet jump shot, and I did not mind playing physical. So if a guy came in there, sometimes guys would let him go and get on the other end. I was going to hit him right there. Now, where the fouls came from, you can actually blame my mother. I'm going to tell you the truth. I played against some guys that was about 6'2", 6'3", and I was about 6'5". And this was junior high school. I was just
because you ain't 6'5".
Getting up. No. And I said, I came on to my mother. I said, well, Mom, how'd you like that game? You had 22 points, had 14 rebounds. She said, you didn't knock nobody around. You didn't hit nobody. I said, my mom, they little guys. She said, you hit them. She said, if you playing against a midget, you knock him on his butt because it ain't your fault he didn't grow up. So after that, I started hitting everybody who came through the lane. And I guess that was the year, man. I was not going to stay quiet. I would talk back to the referees and would call them names. Maybe I should have shut up sometime. But Yeah, well, I talk in my sleep, so that wasn't going to
were there certain referees that when you were playing on the floor, you just knew they were going to call foul on you more than others? Were there certain referees that were biased towards you, maybe some guys that didn't like you? Did that affect how they called the game?
If you remember, when we had the scab referees, I played the best probably month of my life because they didn't know number 53 right away.
Right.
I can remember sitting on the bench in New Jersey, and they called a foul on number 53. And I said, I'm over here. I was already sitting on the bench. But I think they just...
Daryl did it.
I don't know if they really liked me because I was a show-off, hothead and all that. But you know what? They're supposed to be the best referees out there, and that's what the NBA try to do, get the best. And if they feel like you going to do something out there crazy, which I was going to do because that was me, they had to take care of everybody else because I was going to run over somebody, believe me.
Well, I don't know if you're familiar, but Tim Donaghy scandal, you obviously
you know what? I heard about that. And
that's well after your time.
And we didn't get involved in that because, we was already out of the game.
No, I'm saying, do you believe, do you feel that he was isolated or was there anybody else or that they could have picked on besides him?
See, Daryl Dawkins always speak and say what he think. And I don't know if he took a hit for everybody or if it really happened. So I couldn't say.
So you don't know. That's
really
fair.
don't know.
That's a fair answer. That's a fair answer.
You know what I wanted to ask Daryl, man? How does travel affect your performance? Do you get tired, after back-to-back road games? Or, when does an NBA basketball player play his best, whether it's at home or it's away or if he's had some rest? How does travel really affect you with fatigue?
Travel really never really bother you until you get over 28. Because every town you go to, man, you see all them beautiful girls, you want to perform. Hoping that you can get your hands on one after the game. So
natural motivation.
When you get 28 and you're playing back-to-back games, you're playing 38 minutes, and then you play Saturday and Sunday at 38 minutes. It starts to bother you a little bit then. But other than that, run or be ran over. That was it.
Funnest city, funnest place to play.
Houston.
You like Houston?
Man.
Actually, Tim said that too because Tim was with me for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And he enjoyed Houston too. What is it about Houston that everybody loves so much?
Man,
I've just been through the airports. That's
so many places to go after the game, to go dance, hang, get your party on.
Yeah,
very cool.
So many beautiful girls. They wore the shortest dresses and shortest shorts. Hot pants was smoking. They was on fire.
Cowgirls, huh?
And then it was like, I'm telling the truth, man. You just had to love them. You had to love them. Okay. Houston was great.
Meat and potatoes here. Your old boy, Michael Ray. Recently, 2 weeks ago, I actually brought it to your attention.
Yes.
I come up to you in the gym and I said, what do you think about 81, 82 with the Knicks, I believe? You were roommates with Golden State with him, I believe.
No, I was roommates with the Nets.
With the Nets with him, okay.
I don't believe Michael Ray ever did anything like that, but I know he got his share of dope in. But I don't.
That's not a secret, though.
Yeah, but I don't believe he did anything like that. 'Cause Michael would give you the shirt off of his back. He was a good guy until he got in the juice, man.
Well,
it was.
Those were crazy times. Godfather, you're
But if they did do it, we had no way of knowing it.
Right.
Because if like they said in the article, they was doing it for drugs or whatever. By the time you found them, there wasn't no drugs left. So I don't think guys could do that.
The crazy 80s. Things were different then. It was like a free-for-all. It was the Wild West back then, you know?
The Wild West.
And you say sometimes some of the players, without naming names, could stay out all night and put up 40 points.
Yeah, we had players that could, hang out, get busy, chase two girls, and come in and get 40 points and 14 boards. Then you had a guy that could have one girl and come in, and he couldn't hit the bull in the butt with an ironing board. So, it was just like that, man. We could NBA, we could go out, we could play the game, go to the club, hang out with a girl, catch a plane the next day, go to L.A., play, and you just had to be conditioned for it.
Right. And that's one of the things the Godfather always says in boxing, because he's a boxing guy, Joe Hand. Why don't you talk boxing with him?
Yeah, you know what? My uncle actually fought Joe Louis way back in the day. His name was Candy McDaniels, and he was sweet. He was sweet, man. He could box. And I wanted to go in the backyard with him one day, and before we got to the backyard, he hit me about 9 times. So I left him alone. But I'm good friends with Larry Holmes.
Have you ever gone? Have you ever gotten in the ring, Daryl? I mean, because you would have been a great heavyweight.
Man, hey, I was in the ring all my life with my mother. You kidding me?
I'm still battling mine, Daryl. I'm 51, and she's still beating me.
My father was 6'6", about 315 pounds. And he lost 2 fights in his life, and both of them was to my mother. I'm telling you, he'll tell you, man. She fight dirty.
What was the food bill like in your house?
I know we grew up on a farm. We had chickens, ducks, turkeys.
Oh, these are all big boys, though.
Yeah, but you had to work on the farm. My mother ran it just like the military. You the bed. You the yard. You the chickens. You. And if you didn't do that, you was going to bed with bread and water.
No cornbread for you,
No.
Yeah, because the Godfather's out there, Joe Hand a lot. You know, you talked about Larry. Some of Larry's old sparring partners are up at Joe Hand, and I had a chance to meet him. Boogaloo Watts, you know.
Boogaloo Watts, I spent a lot of time with Larry. Our office, the Valley Dogs, was in Larry's building. Larry is a good guy. Sometimes he's misunderstood. I love his wife, Diane.
Yes.
He got a good family. They're good people.
Yes.
Spent time with Muhammad Ali.
Good people. My wife, who you know, her mother grew up with Larry, and they were friends. And we almost, when we got married, we almost used his place for the reception.
Oh, cool.
And we just had a change of heart at the last minute. But Larry was whacked out that night. I mean, he was giving me advice. He was telling me, when you get married, make sure you put the ring on the right finger, because when I got married, I put it on the wrong hand, and the next day we had to do it all over again. So his advice, Larry's advice to me was, make sure you put the ring on the right finger.
Hey, Larry is a guy, if you don't understand him, leave him alone. Because he has his own sense of humor, his own way of thinking, but I ain't never seen nobody can cross drinks like Larry.
Well, he can put him down. He had his grill missing that night, and he kind of scared me. He stopped the music, everything.
If you drinking vodka Collins and you can switch over to a tequila sunrise and come back to champagne and go back to vodka and not blow beats, you world class. That was Larry.
Andy,
I had to stick with what I was doing.
David. Let's get David. Give David a call.
Okay, we're going to...
Let me ask you a question. With all the PEDs and all the other sports, what do you feel about that? And do you think there's any PEDs being used in the NBA today?
Nah, I don't think in the NBA today, because, you know, in basketball you got to have a long, lean muscle so you can be explosive. You can't be built like a football player out there playing basketball, because you ain't going to be able to run. We play in some arenas that sometimes they got to warm it up before you get in there, because you're going to be stiffer than George Burns. And he is stiff now, believe me.
Yeah, he's been dead for quite a while.
But, you know what, I just think anytime a guy's using something that has been banned to gain an advantage, there are penalties put into place. And, hey, if you don't abide by them, they're going to stick you with it. But I don't think today, especially in the NBA, that wouldn't fly.
Do you think that they've been hard on, like, the athletes, baseball? I mean, with the suspensions and A-Rod, I mean, a guy who put up all those good numbers and now his career's tainted?
I worry more about the kids. When you're bringing kids up and your hero is this guy or that guy, and then all of a sudden, 20 years later, they say, well, he was using a substance he shouldn't have been using. How do the kids feel about that?
Right.
When he's been told that that's a hero.
But let me ask you, are you, like Charles, a good friend of yours, Broccoli, I'm not a father figure.
Hello?
I'm not I shouldn't be your idol. Do you agree with that?
Danny, we've got our next guest on.
You got to be who you are. Just be who you are at all times.
Right.
And try to control your language around your kids, and you'll be all right.
So you should set somewhat of an example, being the athlete in their public eye.
If you live right, the kids will see that. You can't fool kids today, man.
Absolutely. Do we have everybody on the line? We have David. We have the Philly Godfather. Both of you still there?
I think David just hung up. Let's
David,
call him. Oh, you're here, David.
Do we have Philly?
Godfather, are you there?
We need a Godfather to take care of David. Hang up on us.
We lost one. Who do we got? We have David.
We've got David on the line.
David, how are you, buddy?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well here. We have Daryl Dawkins in studio. We have to get Philly Godfather back. I hope you didn't hang up on him, did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
No, because
we've been having trouble. We've been having trouble with the connection here. We just asked Daryl real quick about the accusations, Michael Richardson, and he says he don't believe it to be true.
I don't believe that to be true because
try to get Steve back on. Please.
You know what? He couldn't control a game to the point where he gonna make him win or make him lose by a certain amount. And Michael, I was his roommate. He will give you the shirt off his back. So I don't think he did that. No. My thing is why 30-something years later they're going to throw this out there, David? Your thoughts on that? Precisely. Why 30 years later? You're going to dig up a grave and see if a guy's in there? Forget it.
Yeah, this just seems a little childish. Yeah. David, would you like to ask Chocolate Steve? We got you back on there, pal.
Yeah, I'm back.
Sorry, bud. Anybody out there? I apologize. Sue me. Whatever you fucking want to do. I'm sorry. And by the way, this ain't coffee in my fucking cup today. By the way, I had a long.
It's that Mickey Mouse phone operation guy over there.
Yeah, that's Candy Andy. Now, actually, it is what it is. I'm in a studio here, and it's we're making the most of it. David, why don't you fire away? We have Chocolate Thunder, NBA, a great guy, humor too. I didn't realize how funny he is, and just a down to earth guy. What would you like to ask the big guy, if anything?
Come on, don't
be shy. So who's on the phone now?
We've got Steve on the phone.
Steve,
I'm on the phone. Is David still on?
I guess we can only call one guy. So you talk. I guess David.
Was an investigation into it.
Well, what's that now? What the hell's going on? I know I had a drink for crying.
There's certain courts that where maybe the rims might be a little tighter, or the floor is a little hard to play in, and will you perform better in some places and not better in others?
Well, you know what? I always perform the best of my ability that night. In Philly, you was gonna play good because the people always was on you. Remember, that was the first place they booed Santa Claus. So you gonna play when you get to Philly. Playing in Houston was always fun. Playing anywhere, especially with the Knicks. You played the Knicks. If you was a bum and you played the Knicks and you played good, they remembered that forever. So then you could take the title off as a bum. You get to Utah and you get to Denver and high altitude, and the score would be 32-57 at halftime. They run you to death. But by the end of the game, it'd be 98-98. So you would have a chance to catch your breath. Rims were never really friendly. You had to soften them up a little bit. That's why I always hit them and hit them hard.
Yes, you sure did. I mean, yes. Who's the toughest one on the court today? Who's intimidating today? Who?
Nobody.
Nobody.
I don't see anybody intimidating.
Shaq, how about when Shaq was in his prime?
When Shaq was in his prime, he would have been intimidating. But you know what? I would have welcomed the chance to play against him because, you know, Wes Unseld, Nate Thurman, these guys, Harvey Catchings, Caldwell Jones, they taught me. And they said if a guy always hits people and bang them first, then he is all right. But if you bang him first, they don't like it.
Right.
Rick Mahorn was another one of my guys. So we believe in meeting the guy at the foul line, start elbowing and banging him right there until he get down to his box. Right. And by the time he got there, the guards had swung it the other way and wanted to shoot him. I don't see a lot of those guys out there now. I see guys now, most people don't have a center. They have a forward playing center. Right. They always want to face the basket. We played with our back to the basket and the little guard ran around. We gave him a little taste of honey. Just hang that elbow a little high enough for him to run his grill into it. Oof. And after that, he didn't come running around anymore.
Big body's throwing some power around there. Godfather, you want to say anything? You have any special questions? Anything you want to run by, Daryl? Or did we lose him too?
Godfather.
Wow, this is actually, I feel like...
Really good.
That's all right.
This has been... What's going on, Andy? What have you done to me today?
Nothing.
David's gone.
No, David's still here.
David, are you there?
I'm here.
Whoa, David's there. I guess then...
Hey, come on, David. Give me a good question,
David, come on.
What's your take on Mr. Stern? How did you enjoy him as a commissioner, and now he's retiring next year? Do you think he leaves the NBA in a better position?
David Stern turned the NBA into a great marketed sport. He went all over the world. He did things to change it, to make it better, to have it, the NBA challenge, more televised. Remember, we only had one game every Sunday. And he was one of the guys instrumental in saying, hey, we need our own channel. We need more games. We need our athletes to get out in the community and do things, not be known for bad stuff, but go to the boys club, go to the girls club, go and do stuff in your community. I got to be honest with you. I don't love a lot of men. I really don't. Love my family. But I love David Stern. I think he did great things. I think he saved the NBA because, I mean, everywhere we went, he went, and he wasn't afraid to take the long plane rides. Where now guy be saying, yeah, call me when y'all get there, 16 hours. He'd be right on there with us. He's just a good guy.
So did he handle the scandal in 07 well? Do you think he handled that well?
I think he handled it very well. I think the new guy coming in, Adam Silverman, he's been under David so long, he's going to have some stuff to handle himself, and we're going to see how good he do that. But David Stern can always put a spin on something, or humor, till you have to think about it yourself and say, boy, could it have been that, or could it have been this?
Smart.
And if you only can make somebody think about it in their mind, you've done your job.
Right.
When I'm watching TV and there's a bad guy playing a role, and I start not to like that guy because he's playing that role, he's done his job.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said. I mean, Again, I'm not a big basketball guy.
I ain't mad at you.
I heard. No, you know what it was? I had a good outside game. I never got physical on that. Look at me. I'm 5'7" on a good day. I'm good baseball and full. I have a cannon. I can throw that fucking ball. But Tim told me different things about what went down, and I didn't know what to believe. And then I got to meet the Philly Godfather. I read their book. There's too many. Dave, you've read both books, right? You read Personal Foul. You read Gaming the Game. Which one do you think? I mean, what's your input on both books? I mean, let's throw it out there.
They're both. There's a lot of contradictory information in both. Tim has the FBI, validating his take on everything else that happens. The other side of things, Gaming the Game, great author Sean Griffin. He had did a lot of research, had a lot of inside connections, and kind of told a different story. So, from a reporter's perspective, you kind of look at it and going, I see both sides of this. I don't know who's right and who's wrong.
Well, let me ask you this: if a referee is actually betting on a game, why would you think that he wouldn't blow a whistle that would give him the advantage to win that game? I mean, I
draw too much attention to yourself, man.
Yeah, but I mean, wouldn't it be hard to not blow a whistle if you have money? I mean, I'm thinking as a gambler because that's how I think. But I'm thinking if I know that if I blow a whistle or call a travel in or a foul that maybe was questionable and I can win some extra money, if I can bet on the game and give information to others, why wouldn't I blow the whistle? That's my big concern there. You understand that?
You know what? I just think that somebody want to talk about something and got to keep it interesting. And I don't know what happened, who was doing what, but I never read either one of the books. I'm glad that is pretty much over, and the NBA had to take a little black eye, and then we moved on. And
that's what you're still involved with the NBA.
Yes.
You guys have recovered. You didn't skip a beat. You handled that real quick.
We took a black eye for a minute.
And I don't know which. I met both parties. I like both parties. Tim and I have had a recent misunderstanding, but. That's life. That's an understatement there. But to say the least, yeah. I mean, I have my opinions based upon just meeting both individuals, and I formed it based upon knowing both parties. That's
okay.
But that's just me. I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus, especially you. I'm just happy that you were able to come in and speak of certain things.
No, I call it the way I see it, and I just don't see him being able to control a whole game. The guys, and then go to somebody and say, look, they're only going to win by this or win by that. I don't ever see that.
What happened if there was two or three of all three of them were involved, the referees? Then
David Stern would have knew about it.
Yeah, I mean, if you read the book, Tim's book, he talks about before games, the league officials would come in, like Ronnie Nunn, and tell them how to call a game.
Well, you know what? They tried to change calling the game so much because if you go to the game and you want to see Allen Iverson play, and he's got 3 fouls in the first quarter, and they take him out, your kids are livid because you save your money to bring them to the game.
Right.
And they want to see him play.
Absolutely.
So you had to let some guys get away with a little more touching fouls or whatever. Wherein when I hit a guy, I made sure the guy was hit. They knew I hit him. They knew I hit him because he went flying away. The cameraman couldn't keep up with him. But when you call a foul and nobody saw, that's what, the Sunday Liston fight? Where the guy went down and say there was a secret punch.
Right.
Hey, same stuff, different day.
Yeah, David, anything else you'd like to ask the dad? Let's try to get the Godfather on one last time here, Dad, please.
Okay.
This is crazy.
Did you ever get glass in you when you broke the backboards? Did anything ever find a piece of glass in the locker room in your shoulder or something afterwards?
No. You know, I didn't have a whole lot of hair. I had a TWA, a teeny weeny afro. Everybody else had big afro, so they was picking glass out. But I never got cut from the glass on the backboard. You know, guys who were standing around there who couldn't even block the dunk, they got nicked up and cut up. God rest his soul, David Robozine, he passed away. And I asked him after the game, I said, what you doing under there, man? You can't block a driveway with a tractor trailer. What was you doing under there trying to block a shot? He said, well, Cotton Fitzsimmons said if I didn't rotate, he'd take me out of the game. So I had to rotate. I said, well, it cost you a lot of nicks, but you got a lot of scrapes and scratches, but never me.
Yeah, I can't believe I got Chocolate Thunder sitting in my man. Quite a place, though, huh? You like the memorabilia? I got it going on, right?
Let me
I don't have a pair of your sneakers. I could have got them back in '83, but I shut the door on Joel.
Hey, well,
that's another story, though.
We're going to get you another pair.
We get you. I said to him, what am I going to do, sleep in these? The guy shows up at my house 3 o'clock in the morning, and he's like, how would you like a pair of Daryl Dawkins' shoes? I was like, what do you want me to do, move into the fucking things? I wear a size 9, not 19.
The old lady lived in the shoe. I'm going to get you a pair of shoes for real, man.
Sign them, maybe.
Let me ask you a question. As far as your involvement still with the NBA, do you have any players like you were influenced as a younger player? You had a mentor. Are you doing that for players just coming into the NBA as well?
I love being part of the NBA Mentors program where you can talk to a guy and say, look, man, the guy just came out of Kentucky, Noel.
Okay.
I went down to Philly to talk to him and welcome him into Philadelphia and tell him this is what you expect. This is what's the thing, and you got to use some common sense. That's being a mentor.
Yeah.
Not saying spend your money over here or go over there. Don't go in that part of town. There's good and bad people in all the parts of town.
Oh, all walks of life.
Just take
colors,
care of yourself.
race, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Bob Lanier was a great mentor. Freddie Carter, Harvey Catcher, World B. Free was my brother. Doug Collins, all these guys.
Throwback names,
They looked at me. Clyde Lee, a guy nobody could even remember from Tennessee. They talked about soul food. He said, what's soul food? I said, and then we started talking. He said, man, that's just called country living. That's smoked neck bones, pig feet, cornbread, all that. We would call it green. He said, we just ate that growing up. And that's all we knew about.
Yeah. So, now, also, as far as your, where you're at now, you're retired. You're enjoying life. You still have that involvement with the NBA. But what would you say is that your legacy? What do you want people to walk away with when they hear the name Chocolate Thunder or Daryl Dawkins? What do you want a listener or just somebody interested in you to walk away from and being, oh, wow, Daryl Dawkins has a really great insight on this?
Well, growing up, we were always taught that a game you play for fun. Somewhere along the line, the game became business. So for me, I always played the game and I had
fun and brought the thunder.
So, yeah, and I entertained people. I don't want to go to a game and pay $80 to set it right there. And the guy walk by and say, hey, how you doing? And keep walking and run by me every time. I want a guy to come by me, slap me on the head or something and say, yo, man, is that your woman, man? How much you pay her to sit with you? I want to be entertained. And I just remember me from having a good time, long career, and
absolutely, yeah.
I ain't got no complaints.
That's great.
Well, you definitely left a legacy. I mean,
they couldn't break no backboard.
I mean, when I bumped in, I was like, gosh, I got to get the Thunder in the house. I got to get him in the studio. I got
no humans and very few gods to do that. So I felt like, hey, man, I'm doing it.
David, anything else you'd like to ask here? We're gonna cut the show in a few minutes. We're gonna try to get the Godfather on for one last talk. Anything on your plate? I'm sorry the conversation or the connection was bad today, Dave.
Yeah.
So we'll get you on next week maybe and talk to the Godfather. But anything else you'd like to add?
And I'll come back.
I know you will.
No, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the stories. I was little when he was coming up, when Daryl was coming up, and but you certainly remember naming his dunks and on some of those great NBA highlight tapes, the old VCR tapes. He would be on there, top of Thunder and all that. So it was good to talk to you, Daryl. It was a good
Very
show.
cool.
My pleasure.
David Purdom from the Sporting News, right, Dave? Is that who you're working with, the Sporting Line Makers?
I'm writing for about 5 different sites right now. So
Very cool.
Well,
Not one in particular.
right, as long as you got fingers,
David's
man.
one of the good guys in the business.
Keep writing, man.
He handles the scamsters and all the creeps in the business and follies. Good dude. We'll hear from David Purdom again. David, I'm sorry we didn't get to spend more time with you, but we'll get you on again soon.
Hey, David, where can everybody find you via Twitter, or do you have a personal website that you'd like to just throw out there on the podcast?
You can find me on Twitter at David Purdom. It's Purdum.
Perfect. Great.
David,
Awesome,
Have a
man.
good weekend, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank you
David.
very much.
Do what you do, man. Do what you do.
Let's try to
All right, cool.
dial up the pizzeria. And
Yeah,
see what we can do.
let's dial
Let's
him
try
up.
to see. He's training some fighters himself. He's a good dude. You like the Godfather.
You might be training them in the back, showing them how to make pizza.
Yeah, no, he's not a pizzeria. He's a coffee guy. He owns a coffee shop. Business
That's the
guy.
biggest business in the world, man.
So I could get the number.
You
I don't
don't have the
want to.
number?
I don't want to dial the wrong guy.
Yeah, hold on. We got to bear with me.
We'll make sure.
You call a guy, he'll be waiting outside.
Yeah,
There we go.
we got to check his.
Hey, it's just one.
No,
it's
he's,
one of those things.
His interesting story. The Godfather's father was a hot dog vendor growing up in Philadelphia, and they started.
Whoa, hold it right there. When I got to Philly, man, I got the hot dog off the side of the street.
Possibly,
right?
That's my
possibly
favorite,
that.
dirty water dog.
Man, I don't think they'd even clean that water out.
No,
Let it freeze,
No, you don't
and
clean
then
it.
warm it back
Hello.
up. Hot dog
Steve.
is real.
Hey, Godfather.
What's up, my man?
Hey, no,
All right.
we lost. I don't know if we lost you again or your bad connection, but we were just talking. I was telling Daryl about your dad had some hot dog vendors. He was a hot dog vendor in Philadelphia, and Daryl probably bought some hot dogs off your dad back in the day.
We used to have hot dogs, sausages, meatball sandwiches.
There
I was
you
a
go.
kid on the
He
street
probably
selling
got-
pretzels, all the parades,
He got a
all
lot
the
of my
Mother's Day
money.
parades. I mean, it was a blast.
He got a lot of my money because I love the Philly hot dogs on the corner of the pretzels. You know why? I didn't think that they ever throw the water out that they made the hot dogs in. They just let it freeze during the winter, and when the summer started, warm it back up, and it was flavor untold.
Oh, it's my
It
favorite
was-
part.
Dirty water dogs,
Oh man,
Daryl.
they the truth. Hot, the sausage, the meatballs, the bread alone, man. The bread alone.
Yeah, Philadelphia is known for the best bread in the country, from
Yeah,
Amoroso
I
to
thought
Mauricio.
I
There's so
thought
many great bread
Hoboken
companies,
was.
Sarcones.
Now the bread in Philly, man,
Philly?
I tell you, you can make a meal out of the bread, but get your bottle of wine to go with it.
Oh, there you go.
I tell you that the bread in Hoboken's good. Daryl, you got to notice coming from Jersey through the Lincoln Tunnel. You ever buy chestnuts or for that guy in the middle there? That guy in the middle of the.
That guy knew my hand before I got to it.
He's still there. Well, I remember we used to get drunk though and tease him sometime and like
man.
throw shit at him and steal his pretzels and drive fast.
No, man,
We-
he gave it up.
Dude, oh man, we had some fun back in the day.
Daryl, here's another question for you. You've been all over the world, right? Is there a particular place that if you were to, let's say, you got the opportunity to just stay there, where would it be?
Philadelphia.
This is going to be crazy. I lived in Italy and I loved Italy.
Uh-huh.
Learned to speak Italian. Io parlo italiano molto bene.
I love
Oh my
it.
goodness.
But Canada,
Canada.
Hong Kong, and Lithuania.
Very cool.
Lithuania.
I'm actually going to Hong Kong in a couple months, and I'm very excited about
I
it.
like a challenge, man. I don't want nothing
That's
too
a
easy.
challenge, Lithuania.
But if
I
you
can't
going
even say
out
it.
with a girl that got a mini skirt on, and all you got to do is flip it up, that ain't nothing for my imagination. I want her with a dress down all the way down to her ankles.
Oh my god.
That way you
Yeah.
got to work a little.
That's very cool. So Hong Kong, Italy, or Lithuania.
Lithuania, I
And
can't
you've been
even
to all
pronounce
three
it.
of those.
Yeah, but Canada, the people in Canada was so great, man.
Uh-huh.
I was
Really?
like, man, you wouldn't believe it. I was in Winnipeg.
Okay, maybe
very
because
cool.
Montreal.
It was so cold out there, man. The Greyhound dog got off the side of the bus. He get in the back seat.
Montreal, they were pretty rude to us back in the day. I don't know.
Well, they French.
The French
they
American,
they
yeah.
want their own country and all that.
Yeah, they
That's-
were pretty rude. I used to travel when the Mets went up to Montreal back in the 80s. I traveled around with them.
Not in Winnipeg, man. Cheryl
different
Barish.
night and day then, huh?
Barish. Man, they treated me great.
Very interesting. Very cool.
Godfather, we're gonna close the show. Anything, and again, I have to apologize. Hey, everybody.
Nah, stuff
Hey,
happens.
Godfather, we owe you one. We got to come
and you
down
got to
to
pick
Billy
4 other
Show.
players
If what?
on your team. Out of all the NBA players that ever played, who would be the other 4 players be on your team?
If to pick on my team out of all the players that ever played,
Yes.
That ever played, you got to pick 4 players. Who's on Daryl Dawkins' Chocolate Thunder Team 1?
man, this is crazy, because I would have players all in the wrong position because I like Wilt Chamberlain would be center, without a doubt, and I'd be back up. I'd be back. I would have to have a World B. Free and Andrew Toney in there shooting the ball. I could not leave out George Gervin.
The ice
And Gary Payton, their point guard, the club.
the glove.
Couldn't leave out Michael Jordan. Couldn't leave out. Man, how you leave out Bob Cousy, Elgin Bell, Jerry West? It's just too. It's too
so
many.
many.
Different eras, man. You can't pick 5 guys and walk out and expect to be in the grocery store and somebody not walk up to you and say, "Hey, jackass." And then you got to give him a bloody nose then. But it's just the eras are so great, man. I couldn't pick 5 to say, hey, this is it.
You and your prime against the guys in their prime today. You pick your top 5 from your era, top 5 from this era, match them up, but you're at the same age. If could be such a thing.
That's another show.
That's another show.
That's going to take me a little time.
All right, real quick. LeBron or Jordan?
Ooh.
Oh shit.
Hey, wait, man, this ain't even a question because if there was no Jordan, there would be no LeBron.
Absolutely.
So now you put the screws to that. You put the screws to that.
So Michael's the word.
You go back, if there was no Connie Hawkins, you think there would have been a Dr. J? All right. So now you have my answer.
There it is.
Michael.
Powerful. Powerful Dawkins.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I mean, Michael got me interested in basketball. I played it. You know what? I didn't like it as a kid because I wasn't that good at it, and I didn't try hard enough. And I got better as I got older, but Michael Jordan got me into basketball.
Hey, I got to tell you one quick story about Michael Jordan. I was cutting my head bald a long time in the NBA. Everybody said, he must be crazy. Michael Jordan cut his hair bald and they said it's sexy. So from then on, I just remain bald head because it's sexy.
And you're still sexy.
So,
That's right.
Gotta do what you gotta do. Big sexy in there.
You know what? I got a chance to meet Magic in California in 2010.
Knew him since
You
14.
guys remind me of, they had the bubbly personality.
Yes.
Like, you should be on some type of kid show. Like,
Yeah.
you got that bubbly
We
personality.
always enjoy ourselves. I mean, I don't care if you go to a funeral. You got to enjoy yourself because they going to a better place.
Yeah, I think
And you stuck here to deal with all that.
There we are. I got him out there with the kids.
Magic is a great guy, man.
Yeah, he was holding my little guy. He can't see him. He was like playing with. I said, "How cool, Magic is tickling my kid's feet. How cool is that?"
He treated my little guy great, and Doc treated him great. You know, it's just different eras, man.
Yeah.
It's
we
very
got
cool.
to get that back in the NBA where the players, the stars,
Spend time
will
with the
come
fans.
out and talk to the fans and touch them and hold hands, take pictures with them. We got to keep that. Get that back.
Get that back.
You bring it all back.
Same with all
100%.
sports, though, Daryl. The baseball. When I was a kid going to Shea Stadium, they called me the kid. I was there all the time, and they'd go out of their way. Hey, kid, what's up? And that was in the 70s, 75, 76.
It is very
changed,
cool,
man.
though. Your overall demeanor. Sitting, obviously, we're very privileged sitting in the studio with you right now. But I mean, you're the first guy to break the backboard. You're a famous player. I mean, it's just by chance that you happen to live in the same area as us. But if more people were how you are, so kind and very gentle.
I'm always
Genuine,
this way.
too.
And very genuine. I think it would be
better world?
so much better. Yeah, well, we can't live in a utopia, but to be able to talk to any
Drop the U-bomb on you.
Yeah, I was going to Danatopia, though.
to be able to talk to any sports
Cappy,
player would be
Cappy?
amazing.
you know,
And it's very refreshing, and I definitely I think we all appreciate you being here. But somebody like myself who's more of a tech guy and less of a
not that
sportsman.
good today. You weren't. Techless.
Not my fault. Not my fault.
Don't worry, I can't even turn on a computer.
Yeah,
And my hands are too big to text.
You are a big man.
Daryl, Daryl, real
right.
quick before we end this whole show.
Yep.
I mean, these days, these players seem like they're bigger crybabies. They're flopping more in the NBA. Every time a wide receiver gets hit in the NFL, he's crying for a flag. I mean, how do you feel about all that flopping that's going on in the NBA?
Well, everybody want to be an actor. and every rapper want to be a ball player. Every ball player want to be a rapper. I mean, just go do what you do, because if you was meant to do everything, whoever your God is, whatever you believe in, he would have made you able to do all that. Just go out and play the game. You go see a guy like Gail Sayers, John Mackey, all them guys, Dick Buckers and all them. They didn't complain about stuff. They just played.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a Ray Lewis fan till I die.
Oh, yeah. I agree. Back in the day, I always look at football, 70s, early 80s. I look at it today. You can't go near the quarterback. You can't do this. God forbid you hit somebody and hit them hard. You got to watch how you turn your head. There's some real cheap calls these days. And
my mother hit us hard and they hit the quarterback.
I'm telling you, man. Back in the day when you had Plank and Fensick with the Bears, and of course Tatum,
Bob Lilly with the Cowboys.
Bob Lilly. I'm a big Cowboy fan. You'll see some memorabilia around here, but that was football. Basketball, I always was a Clyde Frazier, Willis Reed.
Clyde, I love Clyde. Clyde is, what, he dressed the way he want to dress, and I dress the way I want to dress.
Yeah.
And they're going to always say something about it. But you got to throw your chest out and say, I'm bold. I can wear this pink suit. I can wear this lime green jacket, because you do what you do.
Yeah, Studio 54 was some fun times. I'm sure you caught some days there. I saw him. I remember my mouth was like that, Frazier. I followed him around like a dog, like a little puppy dog.
I should have been arrested in there 3 times.
Oh, man. I can't even tell you. We'd start off there, come back to New Jersey. Next thing you know, we're back in New York, and it's 3 days later. And I lost 10 pounds in between. and
get home and eat everything.
Yeah, and come out with rabbit ears. Like, what the hell? Lint and bubblegum wrappers in our pocket.
But you had fun.
And then sleep and then feel like, let's go back like nothing ever happened.
I ain't doing that no more.
That ain't me. I ain't done. I'm done retired.
And time you sleep, you wake up. Hey, man, let's get going.
Listen, I got to end the show. I want to thank Daryl, Dawkins, Chocolate Thunder for joining us today. Godfather, sorry about the content.
It happens, man. But you know what? One more thing, Dan, before we go.
Okay.
Daryl, AI was 5'11 and a half, 160 pounds soaking wet. How impressive was it to you what he accomplished in the NBA?
Love AI to death. I mean, he ain't never got in trouble for nothing he did on the floor. Everything was off the floor. And big guys, we 6'10", 7 foot, all that. We get knocked down. We supposed to get up and keep playing. They knocked him down. He got up and kept playing.
Yes.
People in Philly still love him, man. He just brought it every night. Yeah. I'm still an AI fan, and I don't care what you think about me, but AI, if I got it, he can get it.
Yeah, they were a little rough on him out in Denver,
Well, they send you all the way to Denver, and you've been living in Philly.
Is that the last stop?
You've been rough on yourself.
Yeah.
Hey, another real quick thing before we close the podcast. Besides the NBA, besides all the other things that you're involved with, is there anything in particular that you support? Any kind of cause or anything that you want to say on the podcast, just so people know about it?
Children with Down syndrome.
Okay. Very cool.
Support that, and if you're going to live in a community, give back. Give back. Don't live in the community and always take. You gotta give back.
Wonderful. Powerful words from Daryl Dawkins.
Don't break my black. You already knocked my coming down with the head banging off. He had the duck coming down. He's like so big. Such a pleasure, Daryl Dawkins.
Absolutely.
Godfather. I'll talk to you later, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you on Monday. Have a great weekend.